It's the Sardegna circuit in Italy that plays host to the third week of the GT Sport Championship here, hosted with Club 100. The circuit in the north of Italy, or fictionally held in the north of Italy, is a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde circuit for most drivers. Some drivers love it, some drivers hate it. But there's one thing we do know, and it produces some brilliant racing, as shown last year by Steve Brown and Ryan Sandell of the Premier class, fighting it out to the line in a drag race out of the final corner. This year, of course, we are streaming the Clubman class. Our Lobby 2 drivers are fighting over 3 places to be promoted to the Premier class, which is over on the Double Dash Motorsport Media channel. So far we have 3 drivers clear in the championship, but being week 3 of 4, this is going to give drivers a chance of a good result tonight could propel them into the championship fight, or at least top 3 fight, which is what they're all aiming for. Currently you can see one of the Team Sonic cars out on track. I believe that's Javier, who's sitting second in the championship at the moment in time, and he's currently quickest in this practice session. You're not missing any of the racing at this time, so don't worry too much. We currently have 9 people in the lobby, so we're just waiting for a few more to join, including a newbie to this week because of Alex Wilmot's unable to take the start. As we speak, there he comes into the lobby. That's Beta Delta, who will be Ben Daly. He's a teammate in Club 100 of Eric Mignon, and Eric is Eric already in the lobby? I can't see him actually. So actually his teammate, who's new to the series, has beaten Eric in. But I know Eric was a bit late getting home tonight. Oh no, there's Eric, sorry, in 8th place at the moment. So there he is. And our newbie is Beta Delta, who is the only driver we're waiting to join the circuit at the moment. So we've got 11 in the lobby for now. But just to keep you up to speed with what has happened in the first half of the championship, we will have a quick look at the championship table. Now currently that is being held at the top by Toby Nichols, who has won 2 races throughout the season, both the second grid reverse races in the GR3 cars. Not so good results in these Mazdas, but he leads the championship equal on points with Javier, who you're seeing on screen at the moment. But obviously Toby leads because he has 2 wins to Javier's 0. But it's consistency that's helped Javier move up to second in the championship with 4 second places in a row, and he'll be looking to get that breakthrough win here at Sardinia Road Track B tonight. Third in the championship is Tom Fox. After beating his teammate Javier in the opening round, Tom has not took a race victory, but has finished in the podium positions in every race. That leaves him 5 points off the championship lead, but still well in contention. These top 3 are quite clear of the rest of the field, with Jay Elliott currently in 4th place after a strong result in a season's best result, in the second round last time out. He sits 37 points off the lead. 2 points further back is Alex Wilmot, who we've already said is missing tonight. There's Jay on the screen now. So in looking to propel himself ahead of Alex, 1 point behind is Ollie Smith. Just trying to find Ollie on the screen. Yeah, there's Ollie. Ollie down as the fastest point on the screen. And will he be the fastest point tonight? He's sitting in 6th place, 4 points clear of Peter Harris. Peter long-loved member of Club 100, sitting in 7th place in the championship, 5th place in this practice session at the moment. Peter's best result was 13 points in the opening round, and it's tailed off a little since then, so he'll be looking to get back on form. In 8th place is Harry Neal. Now Harry has been very quick this season, just missing out on a podium in round 2. But apart from that, nothing spectacular just at the moment, but he certainly has the pace. 9th we have Eric Mignon. Eric, who is also a long-time member of the Club 100 group and has been racing in the other years we've had this championship. Eric got a season's best position of 4th last time out, just missing out on a podium if I remember rightly. He sits equal on points with Harry Neal and is probably actually ahead of him on countback. George Turner is currently in 10th place. I'll just find George there's George in 12th place, so he's in pits at the moment, with Cameron Briggs equal on points with him on 30 points. Where have we got Cameron? There's Cameron. Oh, just off the track as we speak. Getting back on the track now. And last in the points at this current time is Tim Maragon. Now Tim feels like he's been struggling a little bit, but currently 9th in this practice session. There he is. Change before I press the button. So Tim, on the opening week, used a controller because his wheel had broke. He's back on the wheel now and looking like he's got a bit more speed. And of course we have our newcomer to the series, a one-time off at the moment, but Ben Daly there, Beta Delta in a silver Mazda. He will be looking to maybe join the series full-time in the future, but just racing tonight in place of Alex Wilmot. So that is your championship standings for now. We will be going to a qualifying session. As we can see, Javier actually made a mistake there and recovering from the gravel. In the team's championship, it is a 45 point lead for Team Sonic, which is Javier and Tom Fox, with Dogecoin Racing in 2nd, and on 79 points is Banana Gymkhana, which is Jay Elliott and Peter Harris. So if you haven't watched the stream before, if you enjoy what you see, please like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button so that you won't miss any more videos, including these GT Sport videos. And we have the live chat open tonight, so if you want to ask any questions, show your support for any drivers or anything of the sort, feel free to, and I will see it as soon as it comes up in the live chat. So the driver's currently practicing. If you haven't watched before, they have this practice session till 9 o'clock, so about 3 more minutes to go. Then they'll head into a 10-minute qualifying session, all in these Mazda's Roadsters. Then after that, the grid will be formed and they will run a 20-minute race. From that 20-minute race, the result will be declared and reversed for their GR3 race later on tonight, which is a half-an-hour endurance with tyre wear. So that runs you quite simply through the systems that we've got tonight. Just a quick reminder that tomorrow night on the Double Dash Sport Media channel with Andrew Maffa and Howard Mitchell, we do have the iRacing official Club 100 Championship, which is the Mazda MX-5s at Laguna Seca. So hopefully you will all head over and tune into that, see me behind the wheel instead of behind the mic, and probably embarrassing myself. Practice hasn't gone too well, but it'd be great if you could all join in. And if you're a Club 100 driver or regular, or just joining the series, or BUKC driver, and you have iRacing and you want to join in that series, feel free to contact Steve Hicks on Facebook or join the Club 100 iRacing group. on Facebook. Or if you have a PS4 and want to join in, or PS5 and want to join in this championship on GT Sport, feel free to contact Sam Dimolo and we can see what space there is available in the different things. Thanks for a comment from On the Podium. Just keep it on the black stuff. But luckily tonight I don't have to. It's all behind the mic for me tonight. But yes, tomorrow night it's either black or sand at Laguna Seca, so we'll see how that goes. But currently in this practice session we have the championship contenders all in the top 5. It's Javier currently leading by 4/10 of a second from his teammate Tom Fox. Harry Neal up in 3rd and Jay Elliott in 4th, with championship leader Toby Nichols in 5th. So the drivers just getting their last minute practice in. Looking to just try not to cut that final corner as well, because that could ruin your lap right at the end of qualifying. Jay Elliott crosses the line and he doesn't improve his lap time that time by, but he'll be quite happy running in 4th for now. Looking further back, George Turner still in the pits there, and there's the 2 cars of Harry Neal who goes through your shot there, and there is Tim Maragon with, what was that, a Leclerc style helmet by the looks of it. Yes it is, that's a Charles Leclerc inspired helmet, so let's hope your engine isn't anything like the 2020 Ferrari and it's more like the 2019 Ferrari, or as rumours have it, the 2021 Ferrari. But those rumours are only rumours. Let's wait and see in Bahrain this weekend. But we'll concentrate our eyes on Italy tonight at the Sardegna circuit. As you can see, it's catching a few of the drivers out with slides. We've seen the championship leader off the track. We've seen Javier already in the practice as everybody pushes to the limits. We have seen a little bit of lag as well in practice, so please bear with us with the coverage. We'll hope to stay with it throughout. And if you're looking for the coverage with, say, Steve Brown on, or Ruswald, or Ryan Sandell, or Nathan Maximin, that's all over in, and Trevor Randall, sorry, that's over on the Double Dash Sport Media channel with Andrew Maffa. As we see Javier, that's a very strange accident there, but he is back going, deciding to do some donuts at the end of the session, as the qualifying session is to begin here at Sardegna. So out go the drivers onto their qualifying laps. See George Turner sitting in the pits at the moment. So the first driver out is Tom Fox, the championship contender, sitting in 3rd place after losing his lead last time out, with the Red Fox Photography sponsor on the side of Tom and his brother. And very good photographers they are for BUKC. So not BUKC, for karting as a whole. They work together with Stu Stretton every now and again and are producing great photography. So make sure you check that out if you get the time with Red Fox Photography. The driver's just heading round to start there. It's not the longest of laps, so we should be able to get quite a few in. It's not a stage of getting 1 lap or 2 laps in. We hop over to the border to Le Mans later for the GR3 race, which will be an epic race to watch. But a lot of drivers worried about the penalties around that circuit. But we'll go on board with Toby Nichols if we can find him for the championship leader here. go on board with him as he heads out onto the pit straight, and we'll take you on a lap of his Sardegna Road Course B. Heads across the grid's hatchings for the first time, trying to pick up the slipstream from Eric in front. I think that's Eric Mignon's car. Hits the braking marker around 100 metres, down the gears, through turn 1, just misses the gravel on the outside, holds the throttle half open through the apex of that corner, and brakes hard down to third gear as this uphill banked corner. Camber just helping you here, but then it throws you off balance going into this one. Keeps it in third. Half throttle on the exit. Down the hill. Sweeping left, two left-handers. You just got to make sure you don't nip that gravel on the right-hand side. Keep it left for the next corner coming up. Hard braking down into this 90 right, uphill as well, so you've got to get run out. Oh, he's did that, but run into, I think that was Eric Mignon who made a mistake in front. Nothing either driver could do. So that's ruined the opening lap for Toby Nichols. So we'll leave that lap there and let Toby recover for the next lap. But here comes Tom Fox across the line for the first time. Let's see what lap time he sets for the opening battles of qualifying, a 1:26.396. Close behind, here comes Peter Harris, 1.2 seconds off with 27.6. Jay Enio, his teammate, moves up into second place. That's a good lap by Jay, 2 tenths off. And other times coming in, Cameron Biggs in third place, Harry O'Neill in fourth, Peter Harris slips into fifth, and Toby Nichols in sixth after that bad start to qualifying. There's Ben Daly who comes across the line in seventh. Just a little banker lap in there, probably a mistake by the looks of that. Javier with 1:59, so he must have got caught up in that action as well. Feel free to comment your support in the channel. We'll try and give you some shout outs before the race begins. Got one driver just coming round to complete his lap. I'm just trying to find out who that is. There it is, it's George Turner, late out the pits, but coming across the line to finish his first qualifying lap. Moves up into sixth place, a good lap there by George, on for 1:27.8. So everybody has put in their initial efforts. Few mixed up in that accident with Eric and Toby. Don't think any fault there at all, just Eric made a mistake and was trying to get back on the track. Didn't cut anybody up. So Tom Fox comes across the line again. No improvement there for Tom. Very consistent driver in this championship so far. It's currently, we're going to have to look further downfield. There's Beta Delta, who's Ben Daly, who's just been off the track. There's Eric Mignon coming round to complete his actual effort. As Tim Maragon goes up into 9th place. Here's Eric with his first actual time without a mistake on that lap. Crosses the line and goes up into P9. A good lap there by Eric. Good recovery. And Javier needing a good lap here. Only 11th. There must have been a mistake on that lap as well by Javier. 1:33.8. He's really going to have to push on this lap and try and get up into the championship challenge. Currently it's advantage Tom Fox here because he's in first and there's no other championship challengers in the top three. George Turner with 1:27.7 there, moving up in, keeping himself in 8th place, but improvement in time is always an advantage. We'll stick with Javier on this lap. He needs to find himself 7 seconds to pole position, so definitely a mistake there by Javier. He's not that slow. And he comes round across the line, across the back straight, which has 2 corners in it really. But he just pops into the hardest braking zone of the circuit apart from turn 1. Ollie Smith goes up into P3. Great lap there by Ollie Smith. Harry Neal with a slight improvement just goes in behind Ollie, but we're going to stick with Javier here just to see what he does across the line. Comes into the final 2 corners, keeps it within track limits, He's going to come across the line, and will he improve? Tim Maragon's just moved ahead of Eric Mignon, but Eric bites back, and Javier goes across the line, and pole position, provisional pole position there for Javier Gorostidi-Turner. A great lap by him after 2 errors in the previous laps, and almost 1.5 tenths clear of his teammate. That was a great lap, and you saw every minute of it there as Javier backs off on that one, hopefully to try and get another lap in. There's Tom Fox going off under pressure now to try and catch. He's still on the front row. It's still a Team Sonic front row. Third is Jay Elliott here. May get a bit of a tow from the car in front by the looks of this. So will it be an advantage, or will he understeer off in the corners? Oh, very wide there by Jay. But he keeps it together, keeps it pinned into the final corners, keeps it within track limits, just about. Peter Harris improves his time, moves up into 8th. Ollie Smith up into P3, and Toby Nichols just behind, just ahead of Jay, has gone up into provisional pole position, 0.02 of a second quicker than Javier. Third is Ollie Smith, and while I was saying advantage Tom Fox, he's now 4th and 3rd out of the championship contenders. We have just under 2 minutes remaining, and there's your pole position holder, Toby Nichols. Great lap out of the bag there by Toby. Not managed to out-qualify Team Sonic at the moment this season, so it'd be interesting to see if he can do it at this crucial stage. Everybody's still pushing to get that good lap in. We're keeping an eye on all the drivers just to see if anybody else improves. George Turner improves his time. I think that puts him up into 10th place currently, just behind Eric Mignon. We'll go back to Toby Nichols. Can he improve this time? He's going to get 2 this lap and 1 more into his qualifying session. So he throws it into the final 2 corners. As Tom Fox moves up into 3rd place. That's important for Tom. He needs to keep pushing there on this next lap to try and get onto that front row. Toby Nichols comes across the line. No improvement by Toby. So Harry Neal improves to 6th. But the top 3 are covered by 1.148 of a second. And it's the 3 championship contenders. And Ollie Smith is only 3 thousandths behind Tom Fox. So could Ollie Smith surprise the field and grab pole position here? We have 30 seconds of the session remaining. Just biding our time. Eric Mignon improves to 8th. That's a good lap by Eric, 27.3. But there's one driver just ahead of Javier. Just managed to get another lap in. Improvement by Ben Daly on his debut, only 2 tenths off Tim Maragon, so that's a good start by him. But we've got Tom Fox coming across the line somewhere. Is this him now? Yes, he's coming round towards the finish line now. Anybody who crosses the line now will be finishing their qualifying session. So this is it by Tom. He cuts to the inside to make sure he goes the shortest line to the line. He improves, but no change in position. 1/10 of a second off for pole position. So we look next for Toby Nichols. He comes across the line. Ollie Smith improves into 3rd place. Just nips it off Tom Fox. No improvement for Toby Nichols. So where is Javier? He's the next contender. Great lap there by Ollie Smith though to move up into 3rd place. So close to top 3, covered by 0.04 of a second. As Javier, I'm not sure why Jack Cameron Drayton has joined the room, but he should be in lobby 1, I believe. But across the line comes Javier. Any improvement? There's improvement by Tim Maragon, but no improvement. So your pole position holder is there. We've got one driver just coming around to finish, but there's your pole position holder. Toby Nichols claims pole position ahead of Javier Gorostidi-Turner and Ollie Smith. I think that's the qualifying surprise for me, no disrespect to Ollie, but ahead of Tom Fox, who's in the championship contender. Jay Elliott in 5th, Harry Neal in 6th, Cameron Biggs in 7th. Here we are in the hills of Italy for the 5th round of the championship. We're into the second half of the year there now, with Toby Nichols and Javier on pole, Ollie Smith and Tom Fox, Jay Elliott and Harry Neal. That's your top 6. So we wait for the lights to start. There's the lights going on. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we're away in Sardegna. It's a good start. Everyone seems to have got away. Harry Neal with a bit of a slow start in the middle of the pack, but it's Javier who has managed. Javier Turner who's took the lead and swipes across the nose of Toby Nichols. Tom Fox looking around the outside. Will he make it through? No, he might make it through into second place here and make it a Team Sonic 1-2. Yes, he does. And Toby Nichols is now under pressure from Jay Elliott, who is looking to be inside of Toby Nichols. You might see Jay just pop up the inside here. Late braking by Toby just keeps the position. But Jay Elliott is there early on in this race as Toby dives to the inside of Tom Fox. Will he make it through with no contact? Oh, it's side-by-side racing. But Tom holds on to the position in these early corners. Ollie Smith lost out a little bit there at the start, dropping down to 5th place. Eric Mignon right up into 6th early on. With these top 5 who seem to have pulled away slightly. A little bit of lag by Peter Harris further back in 7th. But I'm not 100% sure whether the lag's coming from me or them, so we'll stick with it. As Cameron Biggs has left the room and Toby Nichols is off, running wide and only lucky to only lose 1 position to Jay Elliott. But what has happened to Cameron Biggs, I'm not quite sure there. But Toby Nichols gets a run on Jay Elliott, who ran wide in the final corner and is back up into 3rd place. But this is letting the 2 leaders get away, as across the line for the first time, Javier Gorostidi-Turner leads from Tom Fox. Toby Nichols having to fight off the attentions as Ollie Smith goes to the inside Jay Elliott. Jay is wide in the gravel. I don't know whether that was fair or foul, but we'll go back and look at it in a minute as Ollie Smith looks to try and take 3rd place. But where has Jay Elliott gone? He's down in 9th place currently. So we'll just have a look back at that from Ollie Smith. We'll go on board. Ollie Smith down into the 1st corner, gets a nice double toe off the 2 cars in front. Jay goes to the outside and the doors open and he is up the inside. And I don't see anything wrong there by Ollie Smith. So very good move by Ollie to move up into 4th place on the tail of the championship leader. But he is now having to fight off the attentions of a resurgent Eric Mignon. After a PB last time out, he is now looking for another 4th place if he can get through. The guy who qualified in 8th on the grid, I think, or even lower, has had a charge in 1st lap and is up into 5th. Sit for Peter Harris, and there is George Turner with a cracking opening couple of laps from 10th to move up into 7th place. So that's a great opening start by the G3 driver, who has currently got Harry Neal and what looks like Jay Elliott trying to go around the outside of Harry Neal. That's not going to work. But Jay recovering from that gravel moment with Ollie Smith early on. Looking this way and that. You can see behind Tim Maragon and Ben Daly should be just in the back of the shot. We'll stick with this battle as Jay Elliott looks back to the outside again. Really needs to get that inside line to get past Harry Neal. Oh, I've heard tyre squeal there. It was Tim Maragon. Tim Maragon, round he goes. We'll see what happened there. Just throws it into the corner. Tried to keep up with his teammate and just catches the gravel and around he goes. Very easy to do on that cambered corner. And we look back ahead. And that is still as that Jay Elliott has got past Harry Neal, and somewhere in all this Ben Daly is caught up with Harry Neal as well, so that's a good start to his championship career for Ben Daly. A little bit wide there, but a good start for him. But we'll head back to the front as we have the leader. Sorry, wrong button. As we have the leader, Javier Gorostidi-Turner, under pressure from Tom Fox, his teammate. Now, we've seen this before with these two. They fight hard, but they keep it clean and just try and run away from the pack early on, and then leave the fight between themselves. So not much action will probably happen between these two early on in this race. There's Toby Nichols in third place. There is Smith and Mignon fighting over 4th and 5th. So race has just calmed down just that little bit. You can see Peter Harris in the background, and just in the back of your shot was Jay Elliott just recovering. So it's just calming down for now as Eric Mignon starts to apply the pressure to Ollie Smith. Now if these two push together without fighting, they could try and catch up with the championship leader Nichols in front. But we go round onto lap number 5 with, or is it onto lap number 4 with 14 minutes remaining. Sorry, it is onto lap number 5, my mistake. And Peter Harris has now closed up slowly on his old rival Eric Mignon. Glad to see so many of you tuning in currently. If you want to comment your support or have a comment on the stream, feel free. The live chat is below, and I have it on here so I can read it as we go along. But this is the closest battle on the circuit right now for 5th place, with Eric Mignon under pressure from Ironman Peter Harris. Couldn't have two more contrasting colours in cars, but these MX-5s Roadsters are exactly the same, so no setup changes, no tyre wear to think about. And Eric was slow out of that corner, and Peter Harris has a quick look but doesn't quite get his nose up the inside. Peter knows he needs to start making a move because Jay Elliott will be coming up behind them, but Jay is his teammate, and Peter, even though they're working as teams here, teammates will want to beat each other, and there's no doubt about that as Peter runs a little bit wide in that final corner. Just gives Eric a little bit of breathing space, but it's got quite spaced out early on here. But the battle's still as Peter... Oh, great dummy there by Peter Harris. He dives to the inside. He won't quite make it. Eric will get the run out the corner, but that was a nice little dummy to the outside by Peter Harris. Dived to the inside, just didn't have quite enough to get it done. Heard tyre squeal ahead, but I don't think it was a spin as Eric Mignon runs wide, giving Harris yet another opportunity to have a look at passing him. Just sticking with these two at the moment. You can see in front the two leaders are close together, but nothing really happening at this moment in time. This battle has allowed Ollie Smith to get away. Ollie trying to get onto the front of Nichols as you see the two leaders in front pulling away. As Ollie gets a little sideways up the top of the hill. 11 minutes 30 remaining. Our Cameron Biggs has just contacted us and said he got disconnected. Such a shame early on in the race as well. It's quite a strange thing to happen, because there didn't seem to be anything in qualifying saying you would get disconnected, Cameron. So it's a huge shame for you, and I hope you'll hang around for the Le Mans race. And as it's a disconnection, I'm sure there will be points on offer for you from this race. Looking back a bit further down the field, there is George Turner, just going down into turn 1 now. 9th place currently for Tim Maragon ahead of his teammates Harry Neal, who's having to fight off the attentions of Ben Daly in this Mazda. And Harry, not sure where his pace has gone in this race, but he is fighting not to have the wooden spoon here. Ben just getting that corner a little bit wrong. You gotta remember, Ben's had no practice at this, whereas the others will have been out in practice sessions throughout the week. So I'm not sure if Ben's on a controller or a wheel. It looks like he might be on a controller, but certainly doing a decent job on his debut in the GT Sport Championship. Nice power slide there as well. But that's halfway through the race and we have 10 minutes remaining. We'll head back to our leaders as they come across the stripe for the 7th time. Currently still just pushing each other along, sitting with a 4.8 second lead over Toby Nichols. But they've seen this lead disappear before to Toby, and it's cost them before. So they won't be resting on any laurels yet. It's only halfway through. If they start fighting now, then it's going to give the pack a chance to close up the gap. But Tom looking very comfortable behind Javier. Both cars not looking like they're pushing too hard right now. Just working together nicely. Not using all the track or anything like that. Tom looking a little bit more in control as he looks down the back straight. Does he look for a move? No, he tucks back in. Probably could have done it there if it wasn't his teammates, but just letting Javier know he's still there. The BUKC champion of last year with Coventry Uni, just controlling himself, not pushing too hard. You only need to lead the last lap. But we look further back and Eric Mignon has got past. And where has Ollie Smith gone? There he is, recovering from a spin. Just going to see if we can see what happened to him. Yeah, just ran wide there at the bottom of the hill, hits the gravel and around it goes. That's a huge disappointment for Ollie Smith, who was running in 4th place, and the recovery just all went wrong as well. Shades of Nathan Maxman last year when leading in Japan, in Tokyo, where he tried to recover and the car just kept pitching him round. So Ollie Smith down into 8th place and a lot of catching up to do. But that does move George Turner up into 7th place. And George Turner in the G3 car is slowly closing in here on Peter Harris for 6th place, who is actually, I didn't realise, being passed by Jay Elliott, who is now on the back of Eric Mignon. This is a good recovery drive by Jay. After that mix up with Ollie Smith early on and a bit of gravel tracking, Jay is now catching Eric Mignon and could be back into that 4th place. So this has been he looks to be inside here. No, doesn't quite make it through. Didn't think he had the run. He's going to just wait until the main straight. He knows he's got this. So we'll go on board the bonnet cam of Jay Elliott as he heads into the final corner. Lights ablaze on the MX-5, as you can see, with the lights up in the air. Eric got that final corner a bit wrong, but it actually worked to his advantage because he actually got a bump from Jay. And they're now bump drafting along the straight. Eric doesn't look like he's going to defend because it looks like he probably knows Jay's that much quicker. Jay breaks into it, both nicely done there by Jay, up the inside and through into 4th place. Just try and have a quick look back at that from the outside. Here he goes up the inside by Jay Elliott. Nice clean move. Eric gives him room and moves up into 4th place. Just see if the battle is developing between Peter Harris and George Turner. No, the gap seems to be about the same there. So these two drivers looking to score strong points for their championship. But back to the leaders, here we are. We haven't seen much of them, but Team Sonic cars of Javier and Tom are still out in front, sitting on a 5.5 second lead. So as we saw in the opening round and some other races this season, these two have worked together to build a gap so they can fight for the lead between themselves. Now remembering, in this championship, it's not all about being a champion. If you're in the top 3, you qualify for a Premier class. The top 3 in the championship are the top 3 in this race. But currently, Javier has not scored a race win yet this season. He's took 4 second places, and the last thing he wants is Tom Fox coming through and making him in second place again. Whilst it's great for his championship, just one of them wins would push him so clear in the championship that it could be so crucial at this time. So we watch 2 teammates side by side. Tom looking around the outside of there. Is he trying to make the move? He's absolutely keeping his teammate plenty of room. He looks to the inside. The teammates are side by side heading up the hill. Here they come towards the final few corners. Oh, nicely defended there by Javier. Very well done. Kept enough space between them, but kept his run going to keep the lead and stay ahead of Fox. As they head across the stripe onto lap number 12, and we already know the bump drafting will be there for a period of time, but Tom is getting ready to attack. Doesn't attack into turn 1 this time by. Quite surprised by that, as the gap isn't really getting smaller back to Toby Nichols there. So Tom Fox, oh, he's cut inside. He's going to get him into turn 4. Javier hanging it out round the outside. Will the drivers give each other enough room? Yes, they do. And Javier goes back up the inside and into the lead. The fight is on between these teammates now, as Tom again goes to the outside heading down the hill and is looking for that move. Go on board with him into turn number 8, I believe it is. Doesn't quite make it through this time by, and Javier breathes to fight another day. These 2 drivers putting on a right show for us, but while the gap has increased just that slight bit onto this lap, we'll watch them down into turn 1 and then we'll run through the field, as we have 2 minutes 40 remaining of this race. So let's see if Tom Fox can make a move down into turn 1. He's got the slipstream. He dummies to the outside. Is he going to stick to the outside? It looks like he is. Is he going to try and make the move? Javier covers the inside. Doesn't give him the chance to make the move. Good late braking there by Javier, and he'll have to watch cut back from Tom this time by. It was here where Tom cut back last time. Not quite making it through. 5 seconds further back is Toby Nichols, the championship leader, looking for some strong points just to keep his championship challenge alive. Jake Elliott, a great recovery drive, up into 4th place so far. Eric Mignon in 5th. Peter Harris in 6th. Just stayed ahead now of George Turner and increased the gap just enough ahead of the G3 driver, who's done a very good job in this race. Ollie Smith in 8th, hasn't quite recovered from his off. Harry Neal in 9th. 10th for Tim Maragon, and 11th for Ben Daly, still doing a very good job on his debut. Currently 5 seconds behind Tim Maragon. But we head back to the leaders as they still carry on fighting here on lap 13. It's 1 minute 20 remaining of this race. So they will be going on to their final lap this time by. The white flag will wave, or the mythical white flag will wave onto the final lap, and there's a 1/10 of a second between these two. We're going to stick with these two throughout the lap. A great dummy there by Tom Fox as he goes up the inside into turn 1 and into the lead of this race on the final lap, and Javier needs to respond with that. We'll keep that replay ready for a bit later on in the lap, but anything could happen here. So Tom slightly half a car which defends on this very wide circuit. I'm not sure how much difference that will make. Tom being made to go defensive again by Javier. The gloves are now off between these two, and Toby Nichols might want to keep pushing because this could get nasty at some point, even though they have worked together perfectly throughout the race. Javier dodges to the inside of the corner. It will be outside for the sharp 90-degree corner at the end of the back straight, and Tom defends it off, keeps the position, clips the gravel slightly, has to go defensive again as Javier looks to the outside to get the cut back. Has he managed to do it? Has he got the grip? No, he hasn't got the grip out of that corner. So now it is going to be a run to the line. We saw a run to the line here last year between Steve Brown and Ryan Sandell, so Tom still has to get the final corner right, and he does. Javier is the one who makes a mistake, and it's going to be Tom Fox who claims victory here at Sognegna Me, ahead of Javier, who takes a 5th second place in a row. Toby Nichols comes home in 3rd place ahead of Jay Elliott, and Eric Mignon in 5th. But we'll just have a look back at that move by Tom Fox. We just missed it there, but we will go back to it now. On board with Tom, just dummies to the outside, cuts back in. Lovely move there by Tom Fox. Dummies Javier to the outside and gets the breaking point completely right. Great move there. Behind Eric Mignon is Peter Harris in 6th. A strong result for George Turner in 7th. Ollie Smith comes home in 8th ahead of Harry Neal. 10th for Tim Maragon, and 11th will be Ben Daly on his debut. 12 points will probably go to Cameron Biggs, who will hopefully join us at Le Mans and not disconnect. But there is your winner, Tom Fox, who claims his 2nd win of the season, and a win that he really needed for the championship, coming through from 4th on the grid. So that was a great race between the two championship contenders, and it will be a GR3 race at Le Mans, which will be set up now for these drivers. As we said before, the consistency of Javier is just working at the moment. If he could have got that win, he could have been a long way clear, but instead it's another 20 points for Javier in 2nd place for the race. Could he win the championship by finishing 2nd every time? Who knows? But this 30-minute endurance race around the Le Sarthe circuit in France will be next up after we take a short break, and the stream will carry on running. You'll see the cars out in practice, but you won't be missing any of the action. Welcome back to the action here on week 3 of the Club100 GT Sport Championship in the Clubman class, and I'm very pleased to see that Cameron Biggs has rejoined us and hopefully won't disconnect. Our fingers are crossed for you, Cameron. But the drivers are out there practicing at the famous Le Sarf circuit, home of Le Mans 24-hour. A great event for anyone, but we are running the full Le Mans circuit, not like the MotoGP do where they only run a slight bit of it. If you are enjoying the racing you're seeing tonight, please like and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button, and you won't miss any action on this channel, whether it be GT Sports or any other streaming that I bring to you live. Currently nobody has set a lap time in this session. As we know, Le Mans a very long circuit. You come watching Cameron Biggs in the Porsche. And let's have a look at our newcomer. Here is our newcomer. Also pits for Porsche. There in the works Porsche livery is Ben Daly, who did a very good job in the opening race, considering he hasn't had the practice of the others. Did a good job keeping up with the pack. A late entry, but we'll be looking to maybe do a few more races throughout the year, even if it's in a lone entry. So all the drivers here at Le Sarf worried about track limits. You can see Ben just going through the corner here. Track limits on the outside of that corner as well, and picking up those small penalties will just not be what they want to do. I will hopefully have all the corner names for you soon enough. I know most of them, but I've got to remember which one's which. So we are now heading down the second part of the Mulsanne Straight with Ben Daly. As he come out of Tete Rouge there, and heading down to the second chicane and then on to Virage de Mulsanne, or at least that's what it was called in 1986. Now it's just Mulsanne, but made famous by a YouTube clip actually of a driver at Le Mans getting it wrong and going around the roundabout. And this is the famous Ben Daly's now going over famous jump that Mercedes took off over in, I want to say 99, and Mercedes flat bottomed cars just taking off over that, and Peter Dumbreck, oh, and Ben Daly missed his braking point there, off into the gravel. He recovers it, but the final is about to start here at Le Sarf. Obviously a reverse grid of the previous race results. So here we are at Le Sarf, the opening round, the only round, sorry, of the GR3 racing tonight. 2 rounds to go after this one. Who will take their championship challenge? It's Cameron Biggs and Ben Daly on the front row, and the 2 teammates of Harry Neal and Tim Maragon close behind. There are the cars on the famous Le Mans grid. It's a standing start, unlike Le Mans, which is normally a rolling start. There's 30 minutes on the clock, and we're away here at Le Mans, and it's go. Oh, bit of contact in the middle of the field, but good start there by Tim Maragon, who moves up into the lead. Ollie Smith also looking for the position, and I think it would be Ollie Smith who leads down into turn 1. Oh, Tim Maragon missed his braking point there, gone wide, and yes, Ollie Smith takes the lead. We've got a car slid off to the side, I think. We'll just have a look back there. No, everybody is through the first couple of corners. It's Ollie Smith who leads from Harry Neal. Jay Elliott, and Tom Fox has come through from the back of the grid into fourth, and that's in the wall. That's Harry Neal just running wide on that corner, but Tom Fox already up into third place. What a great start by the championship contender. Javier's up into fifth and Toby up into sixth from the back of the grid. What a start by these drivers. Must have got the braking exactly right in that first corner. But there is the leader of Ollie Smith leading the way in the Mercedes. Jay Elliott in the Corvette, just having to defend slightly from Tom Fox into the opening chicane. Such a long circuit here, they won't get many laps, but Jay has stretched that gap slightly to Tom Fox. There we go, from winner of the last race, got the better of his teammate, and is now just ahead of Cameron Biggs as they head down to the second chicane. You can see there's a fight going on behind. I think it's between Tim Maragon and George Turner as they go down to the second chicane. George is on the inside. A couple of people have missed the braking points into that corner, and one is Javier. Where has he gone? We've got to look down the field. There is Javier Gorostidi-Turner and Cameron Biggs. They were two drivers, fourth and fifth in this race, and they missed the chicane and are now down in second to last and last, with only Ben Daly behind them. Hazards flashing on Javier's car for some reason, but these two are going to have a lot of work to do to get back up into that fourth place they were fighting for. I think it's possibly a bit too late to go back on the replay. Yes, it is. But they just missed their braking point. But the three at the front have moved away, and Jay Elliott now trying to get the lead off Ollie Smith as they head down the long straight towards, as they head back towards the pits. Ollie Smith defends. Jay Elliott looks for the cutback in the yellow Corvette. The blue Corvette there is of Tom Fox, the winner of race number 1 tonight. All sideways by Ollie. There's a little bit of lag there, but they've got it together, and Toby Nichols, championship leader coming in tonight, is now fourth in his Nissan GTR. I see George Turner is now in 6th place and fighting off the attentions of Harry Neal as they say in the Nissan. Will Harry get round the outside of him here? Yes, he does. A great move there by Harry Neal, the former Clubman Sprints champion in Club 100, showing why he was the champion. Further behind Peter Harris, and Javier and Cameron are still trying to play catch up to the rest of the field. So as we come across the stripe for the opening time, Jay Elliott has got ahead of Ollie Smith, heads into the chicanes at the end of a lap, and will come across the stripe to lead lap number 1 as he mullers the curb on the final corner and off towards Dunlop chicane. It's Jay Elliott who leads here at Le Mans. Second place is currently Ollie Smith and Tom Fox in third. These Corvettes running well at Le Mans as they normally do in the 24 hours. Toby Nichols closing up. We've had somebody fall down the field there. George Turner was down into 7th. Yeah, I'm not sure who. I saw somebody falling downfield, but not sure who. But Peter Harris is now having to defend. Is now attacking, sorry, George Turner. George Turner has got past Peter Harris. That's where it is. Oh, and wide by Harry Neal again. He likes that wall tonight. He hit it on the opening lap, and he's hit it on lap 2, and that has allowed Javier Gorostidi-Turner to move up into 8th place. And every point will count for Javier in this championship challenge, because there is no drop points as Peter Harris pulls out in the BMW to slipstream past George Turner. BMW, with Nissan not quite as quick in straight line, but good on the brakes, and they go side by side into chicane number 1, and George Turner fights off the attentions. Very good driving there by both the drivers in this battle for 6th place on the second straight in the Mulsanne. Remember, this used to be one long straight all the way down, which I think George Turner's pretty happy it's not in his Nissan GTR, because it doesn't seem quite to have the acceleration out the corners. It takes a bit more time to build up to speed. But the G3 driver is holding off our current second place in the championship and our current Ironman Peter Harris. This is a great little battle here. Will Javier be able to get both of them? He's pushing one car along. He might choose to push George along and get up the inside of Peter Harris. Actually, he's getting quite bulked here. He goes up the inside of Peter Harris, doesn't quite make it stick. Oh, Peter's gone wide, and that's given Javier the position. Now will Javier be able to make his way back through? Tom Fox in front in second place has actually made it past Ollie Smith. See if we get a replay of that later on. But here is Javier going for 6th place on the recovery after that opening lap, missing the second chicane. He's on the inside, which will give him the outside at the end of the straight. But will he be able to make it through this quick right-hander? No, George tries to hold him off. And where has George Turner gone? He's still on the inside, but Javier makes it through and up into 6th place. He's got to make these moves quicker though. There is only 22 minutes of this race remaining. But we head back in front of there is Tom Fox. We'll look back to see if we did pick up his move on Ollie Smith. No, it must have been at the end of a Mulsanne straight. But Tom Fox trying to claim back his championship lead. He lost to Toby Nichols last week. If you've got any questions about the series or any comments, feel free to put them in the chat. I do have it open in front of me. But currently Jay Elliott, the former sprints champion of Club 100, leads the current BUKC teams champion. Tom Fox leads Ollie Smith. No disrespect to Ollie, but I can't remember the stats on him. So it's Ollie Smith who's actually hanging on to this pack pretty well and not falling into the clutches of Toby Nichols. We haven't mentioned him yet, but here in 5th place, having a very good run again, is Eric Mignon. Finished 5th last time out in race 1. Finished 4th in last week in race 2. So on a golden run of form here by Eric Mignon. Finally getting his head. The results his head deserves. Doesn't quite make sense, but I know what I mean. He's certainly getting results he deserves now, and it'd be great to see if he can hold on to this. But we head back to the leaders. Slow down penalty for Jay Elliott. Now remember, in this series, while he's leading, that's fine, but if somebody passes him, he cannot overtake anybody till he's got rid of that penalty, as Tom Fox pulls out of the Corvette slipstream. Jay will probably be early on the brakes here to try and get rid of that penalty, and that will allow Ollie Smith up the inside. Jay fights back, doesn't get rid of much of his penalty in that chicane. He's probably going to look at the end of the Mulsanne, but it does mean he won't be able to overtake Tom Fox, and it might just let Tom get away. Toby Nichols still sitting a little bit further back. I think that might be slightly more to do with the Nissan GTR down the straights, as Jay decides to get rid of some of his penalty ghosts, and that allows Ollie Smith through, but still 3/10 of a second for Jay to get rid of. So he needs to try and get rid of that at the end of this straight, and then he can start attacking for the lead of this race again. There is George Turner looking to try and get ahead. Sorry, George Turner trying to defend from Cameron Biggs. And we just had a question in the chat about the tyre wear on this circuit, and I'll be honest, I haven't heard much talk about the tyre wear here today. Obviously you got the 2 long straights to give the tyres a very good breathing space, but you do have the Porsche curves at the end of a lap, and the left front will be the first to start running out around this circuit. So we'll keep an eye on that. There's Cameron Biggs having a look up the inside of Gorostidi-Turner. He's on a recovery drive like Javier from the opening lap. But let's just have a look at the car info of these drivers. Looking good at the moment. That's Gorostidi-Turner's data, and not looking like he's got much tyre wear at this moment in time. We'll head to our leaders. A little bit more for the Corvettes, we expect that. And we go through the field, and all similar tyre wear, to be honest, at this stage. So we'll wait and see how that goes. There is Harry Neal going off the track and into the gravel, and he spins. It's not the night that Harry was looking for, I think, in the Aston Martin. Well, if he's looking for spins, he may as well go on to a spinning class. But there in the background, he's still ahead of Tim Maragon. This team purple liveried team not having the best of days today. Luckily, they're not that slow, so Haas have not overtaken them. Oh, and Harry Neal's off again. Has he got a problem with his wheel? I'm thinking, because that looked like a very strange incident. And his teammate spins in sympathy, hit behind. So Harry still stays ahead of Tim Maragon in the battle for 10th place. We'll have a look back here at that action. Let's see if we can go on board with Tim Maragon. He comes down the straight, heading towards the Porsche curves, turns in, carries far too much speed into the corner, understeers wide, sees his teammate off the track, and around he goes. Well, I said it wasn't going to plan for these guys, and I think an early bath might be the way they want to go at this rate. But we head back to the front because Tom Fox is now in the lead, is currently still in the lead of this race, sorry, from 7/10 of a second, but they have pulled ahead of Jay Elliott, who's trying to get rid of a penalty still. It's increased to 1.9 seconds now. He has Toby Nichols behind, so Toby's going to take that position when Jay serves his penalty. See in the background, Javier and Cameron Biggs are starting to close in on Eric Mignon. But there is Jay trying to get rid of his penalty, not succeeding at this stage. There is a penalty there though for Toby Nichols, so he can't overtake Jay. So maybe the two will try and get the... I don't actually know what the ruling is on if Jay's getting rid of his penalty and Toby's getting rid of his penalty. But there's Toby Nichols getting rid of his penalty. He's got rid of it in a straight line, nice and early before a braking area, so he can now go on the attack of the former sprints champion Elliott. But these four away and clear at this moment in time. There is Mignon, just minding his own business at the moment, but he will have the Aston Martin of Javier Turner closing in on him before long. Just having a look at the lap times from last time by, that was Eric with a 3:57 and Javier did a 3:54, so 3 seconds difference, and it is 3 seconds difference between the cars now. So as we see Gorostidi-Turner in the background just ghosting slightly. Just having a look further back in the field, there is Peter Harris, currently having a bit of a lonely race. He's well ahead of Harry Neal, scoring some more points for the Gymkhana Banana squad. But we'll have probably wanted a little bit more from this race. The BMW not too bad on the straights here, and Peter hoping to take advantage of that later in the race. But we're now halfway through this race, 15 minutes to go, and heading into the Porsche curves is what would be your championship leader at this stage, I believe, Tom Fox, now with a 2.5 second lead over the former championship leader Toby Nichols, who is now ahead of Jay Elliott after the penalties have sorted themselves out, and Ollie Smith is now down into 4th place. So we've missed something massive there. Ollie was second last time I looked. But the three are together in this fight. It's probably the closest fight on the track at this moment. Oh, a wiggle in the middle of a chicane by Toby Nichols. Well held. They attack that final corner. Jay Elliott still in the fight for this top 2 position. For second place. And it could be a big blow to Nichols' championship if Elliott gets through. Into the Dunlop S as they go. Looking to try and close that gap in on Tom Fox. Won't want to fight too hard. Jay Elliott now having to distract himself with the attentions of Ollie Smith and Mercedes. 3 different makes of cars in the top 4. In the top, sorry, 4 in the top 5. As Aston Martin of Eric Mignon is further back, but this battle is between these 3 cars. The orange Mercedes, the yellow Corvette and the black Nissan. And you can see the speed differential between the Corvette and the Nissan. Nissan a lot more comfortable, but Jay Elliott in the Corvette with another penalty to get rid of. Well, we might want to put Jay in a new Euro England squad for the championships, because if we go on penalties, he's very good at dispatching them. Because he's currently still in 3rd place and having to get rid of another one again. An Englishman who's good at getting rid of penalties, that's an interesting one. Oh, and wide there in the middle of the chicane is Elliott. Scrubs off a little bit more of his penalty, but can't attack Toby Nichols. The drivers continue this fight for second place up over hill, and I think they are slowly closing back in on Tom Fox. The gap was 2.5 seconds, it's now 1.7, and this fight has, instead of slowing them down, it is pushing them towards the leader. Now, is the leader just having a few more tyre troubles? No, not according to the data we have. But it'll just be interesting to see if Tom Fox can hold off the attentions of Toby Nichols, who has to hold off the attentions of Jay Elliott down the straight again. That Nissan GTR is lacking a little something in a straight line, but it's a very stable car as he slides it out of that corner. But it's a very stable car, and it's certainly paying dividends for Toby. Oh, it's commentator's curse, isn't it? I say it's a stable car and he's slid twice in 2 corners. But it certainly pays dividends when you get to the Porsche curbs, because you've probably just got a slightly better front end than the Corvette to get it turned in. But he's got to defend down these straights where Jay will be very quick, but probably still trying to get rid of his penalty. We'll have a look. Yes, he is. He's got a 2.3 second penalty now. Maybe he is proving he's an Englishman and can't get rid of penalties. But these top 4 are away and clear. Eric Mignon, still in 5th place at this moment, now has the attentions of our 2nd place in the championship, Javier Gorostidi-Turner. And I apologise to Javier if I'm getting that name wrong. You may notice I try to avoid it every now and again, but I will sort that out. But the blue painted Aston Martin is now starting to attack the purple one, and Javier is now trying to make his way past Eric Mignon for 5th place. This is a strong recovery drive for Javier after missing the opening part of the chicane on the opening lap. Goes to the inside. Eric fights back. I thought Eric was letting him through there, but no. Mignon fights back and is trying to hold on to this position. He's got 3/10 of a penalty to get rid of. on the ruling of overtaking, he never actually got overtook, so that's still allowed. But the two Aston Martins will now go down the straight, and Javier will dive to the inside and probably get this. Looking at the run he has, yes he does, he moves up into 5th place. Now Mignon has a penalty, so can't fight back here. Once the move is complete, which it is now, Mignon can't make his way through until he gets rid of that penalty, as he does try and remove it, get down into the first chicane, but you lose so much time, it's hard to just remove it all there. In 7th place we have Cameron Biggs, also with a penalty to get rid of, and there is George Turner in the G3 Nissan GTR, running in 8th place currently, ahead of 9th place Peter Harris. 10th is Harry Neal, 11th Tim Maragon, and still running in 12th place with no practice is Ben Daly. But we head back to the front and the gap is still closing down. 2nd, 3rd and 4th are working together and just closing down Tom Fox, so the pressure is on for the BUKC champion. Oh, and wide in the background goes Toby Nichols, and that is going to let Jay Elliott through, but Jay has a penalty. Jay has a penalty to get rid of, and he's absolutely gutted there because he had a right run at Toby Nichols. I've decided it's probably easier to tell you when Jay doesn't have a penalty. That doesn't make Jay a bad driver, to make that clear. It's very easy to pick up a slight penalty on this game on Le Mans. For example, you can see the road markings along the track down the Mulsanne straight. If you go outside the road markings, even though it's a track, you get a penalty. So it's very easy to catch it. But we are now getting towards the last 7 minutes of this race, and it's still open to who is going to win this. There is a few issues over in Lobby 1 with the Le Mans race, so after this race is finished you might even have time to head over to Double Dash Motorsport Media and watch Lobby 1's Le Mans race there. But stick with us because this race is far from over, as Tom Fox still leads ahead of Toby Nichols, and Jay Elliott will get rid of his penalty. Whether it be this week or next week, he will get rid of it. But it's worth just trying to stay in the fight for now. And because a lot of the braking areas are quite short here, quite long here, sorry, it's very hard to get rid of the penalty because you have to brake that much earlier. There's no, you sort of want a medium braking zone where you're not braking too hard, you know, and you can sort of play a bit of catch up. And Mignon has left the room. He must have disconnected, I think. So Eric Mignon has disconnected out of 6th place. So the bugs are continuing with this game, it seems. But the race is still on for the lead. Tom Fox there, 2.5 seconds. He's just extended it on the last lap with 5.5 minutes remaining. That will be roughly the last lap next time by. So this is the penultimate lap. And we see behind, Jay cannot do anything but push Toby Nichols along because of this penalty. So he has to just keep pushing him along and try and get rid of it when he can. But is loving the fight in the process. On the update of the comebacks, there is Cameron Biggs up into 6th place due to Eric Mignon's disconnection, I believe. We will find out later on. If it is a disconnection, there will be discussions about the points received. I think there is a bit of a bug with the game in general, so that also has moved George Turner up into 7th place. Peter Harris up into 8th, 9th for Harry Neal, and up into 10th. And I thought Jay had penalties. There's Harry with 4.2 seconds. So, and Ben Daly up into 11th. But there is Tom Fox, 2nd for Toby Nichols, and 3rd for Jay Elliott. Still trying to scrub that penalty off. He's down to 1.5 seconds now. So we will try and get that sorted. Ollie Smith still holding on behind in 4th place. Not being dropped by these teams. There's a little bit of a gap there, but not really being dropped too much. He's still on in this fight, but he's had a penalty to try and get rid of. So 2 little tactics here between Jay and Ollie Smith. Ollie seems to be getting rid of his penalties, which has dropped him back a little bit. Jay deciding I'll get rid of my penalties later on once the race has sort of worked itself out a little bit more. Because currently getting rid of his penalty would mean Ollie Smith would probably pass him. But he's working with Toby to head towards the leader, because they still have eyes on trying to win this race. This circuit is long enough that if Tom Fox makes a mistake, we haven't seen one yet, but if he makes a mistake, it could be a chance for these drivers. And sorry for my bottle making a noise there if you heard that. So we head through the Porsche curbs for the penultimate time. Oh, and wide slightly by Toby Nichols, but again Jay can't take advantage of it because of his penalty. He's still pushing Toby along. Will he try and remove some of it into the chicane this time by? This is still the closest fight on circuit. Toby Nichols is wide in the chicane. And has Toby picked up a penalty there? Yes, he has a second of a penalty. So both these drivers have penalties to get rid of. Further behind, Ollie Smith hasn't quite got rid of it, but he's only got a 10th to get rid of. But Tom Fox leads onto the final lap here at Le Mans, through the Dunlop chicane and out down the hill through the S's. Keeping it just all under control. He's got 2.6 second lead, and he has no penalties to get rid of. Up to 2.8, almost 3 second lead there. There's Toby Nichols with 0.8 of a second to get rid of, and 1.4 for Jay Elliott. So 2 drivers having to push each other along because they can't neither can overtake each other, and neither can. So this is crazy. This is going to be an interesting race all the way to the end, because they need to get rid of these penalties at some point. In the background, ooh, that's Jay Elliott going for a move as Toby was getting rid of his penalty. Now I don't think Jay had much of a choice there, as Toby was getting rid of some penalty into the chicane. But in the background you can just see flashing through shot, there is Javier on his comeback trail. But there is Toby. He's got rid of his penalty, so he can now overtake Jay when he gets a chance. That penalty has gone, unless he picks up another one. Javier has a penalty. It's like penalty city here, but none for the leader, none for second, as Jay has took a little bit more and let Toby back through. That's fair enough. I think in all of that, that's properly run there by Jay. He knew about giving the place back, but didn't want to lose too much time. He's getting rid of a penalty slowly but surely here, down to 8/10, spreading it out. Oh, Ollie Smith a little wide in the background. That gives them a little bit more breathing space, and the same for Javier in the background. 6th is currently Cameron Biggs, 7th for George Turner, 8th Peter Harris. Did everyone make it through onto the final lap? Not quite. I think you will find there's a big crash for Tim Maragon going on to the... Mulsanne straight, but the first driver to finish will be Ben Daly. But we'll stick with our battle for second place as Toby Nichols leads Jay Elliott. They've all spaced out a little bit now, getting rid of them penalties. Jay still with a penalty to get rid of before the line. Will that bring Ollie Smith into play? Javier can't do anything with his penalty. But we'll just have a look back at Ben Daly. Now remember, Ben had no practice whatsoever before this race. Eric rejoins the room and presume it must be a disconnection there. So Ben Daly comes through to finish his first week of the championship in 11th place. But we'll head back to our leader. Here's Tom Fox. He's controlled this race with an epic start from 12th on the grid to 4th in the opening lap, and has took the lead and dominated from there on. Comes through the final chicane, doesn't pick up any penalties, and wins here at Le Sarthe, the famous Le Mans circuit. And Tom Fox wins, clear of Toby Nichols, and Tom Fox takes the championship lead there. Third on the line is Ollie Smith, just nips it off Jay Elliott on the line. I'm not sure if that actually happened, because Jay is 4.1 behind and Ollie is 4.5, so we'll have to check that on a replay. Fifth is Javier Gorostidi-Turner, who had a comeback after missing the second chicane on the opening lap. Same for Cameron Briggs, the same mistake, leaving him down in 6th. George Turner comes home in 7th in the G3 car. Good result for George. 8th will be Peter Harris, who comes through the final corner now and claims 8th place in the BMW. Strong points for his team, with a possible podium for Jay Elliott. Here comes Harry Neal. He's got most of that penalty disappeared from earlier on, and he's just now trying to get rid of that penalty as he comes round towards the end of the lap. Not a good day for the guys in purple. Harry Neal, former Clubman championship, probably wanted a bit more from tonight. His pace has been there throughout the first 2 weeks, but for some reason it just didn't click tonight. And I think both Harry and Tim have had issues with their wheels and pedals over the last couple of weeks, so we can forgive them for not trusting the pedals too much and having a few issues of speed. But here comes Harry Neal across the line for 9th place, very slowly. Has he got a penalty to get rid of? No, we're going to do donuts. Thank you, Harry. A few donuts across the line, but even the donuts didn't go quite so well. And 10th place will be Tim Maragon, who's going to come through the final couple of corners now to finish off the race. Tim Maragon claiming 10th place in the Charles Leclerc replica helmet. But it was your winner, Tom Fox, who takes the championship lead and is in control. Oh, that's why there was a penalty still for Jay Elliott as he crossed the line. But there's your winner, Tom Fox, who claimed 11 places in that race and actually claimed a huge amount of them on the opening lap. We'll just have a look at race results here. There we go. Tom Fox winning by 2.3 seconds over Toby Nichols. Ollie Smith officially on the podium due to a second penalty applied to Jay Elliott. The rules will have to be checked with that and the replay just to see if Jay did try and get rid of that across the line. 5th went to Javier, 6th Cameron Briggs, 7th George Turner, 8th Peter Harris, 9th Harry Neal, 10th Tim Maragon, and 11th Ben Daly. Mignon was running 5th or 6th when he... 6th it was when he disconnected. But it was fastest lap also for Javier. That's a 3-minute 54.2 on his recovery on lap 3. But it's Tom Fox who takes the lead of the championship, I believe, from Toby Nichols, and Javier will now be in third place after that. Fifth place, his worst result of the season after 5 second places in a row. He has a fifth to add to that, but certainly won't be out of it going into the final week. So, where do we race on the final week, I hear you ask? Well, we head to... let me just find the post. I've got it somewhere. Can't believe I can't find it now. Give me a second. Final race of the year, or the final 2 races of the year. The Mazda MX-5 will be raced at Autodrome Maggiore, the centre circuit there. And in the final round, it will be the GR4s at Interlagos. So that gives you 2 great circuits. Interlagos as a final round. That would be a great race to crown our champion. Who will it be? Tom Fox is looking strong after tonight's 2 victories. Toby Nichols is still in the fight after 2 podiums. And don't forget Javier, who's had 5 second places in a row and will be hungry for that debut, that maiden win in the championship. But I will leave it there for tonight. Head over, subscribe to the channel, and you will be able to catch us next week as we see who will be promoted to the Premier Class of the Club 100 GT Sport Championship.